All right. This is the first monthly momentum call, and I just dropped like 2 minutes ago, so we'll see if anyone hops on. Um, and so this is the inaugural monthly momentum call for the Northern Strength Collective. Thank you to you guys who are in the group. I want to start these out. If anyone joins, great, hop on. You guys can listen in. You can ask questions. If you just want to, hey, pop questions in the group earlier throughout the course of the month that I can't address until this call, then I will address them on the call. Otherwise, I'll try to address them in between. I want to start these out just by first of all, kind of the same way we do a lot of our. If you've ever worked in the past in a one-on-one sense, I do a lot of the first thing we do in the calls. We start with like, hey, what's going really, really well? Even finding one thing. Sometimes in this journey of our health and fitness, there's is really hard to find. You can have a lot of things you're saying aren't going well. That's life, right? Like we want to be critical, we want to find the things that are uh, not going, yeah, simply not going the direction we want them to go. But um, it's important, I think, to always start that, hey, what's something that's still positive? What's something that's still a win? So I want to start with just a few shout outs. And right now the group is growing. It's smaller, but over time there'll be, so I might mention most people's names, not all people's names. Over time that will not be the case. But right now, as soon as don't feel slighted if you're not called out. It's just things that I noticed, things I'm going to jot down. And then I'm going to talk a little bit today, if no one hops on, ask you questions, and talk about the intensity of the workout, kind of how to adjust that a little bit and think about that. And then maybe a brief talk on like heavy days coming up in the next month. So, anyways, shout outs here. There's things that you guys have already shared. I probably already commented in the group. I'm just going to bring them up anyways. There's things I thought were pretty cool. So first one is going to go to Amanda for how you um, said you got a really hard phone call from. Oh, here we go. John's joining in. Pause that. Morning, John. You can listen in. I'm just going to keep talking. If you have any questions, you can pop on. Um, let's see if as long as you can unmute yourself, let me know if you can't. Okay, you're good. Okay, sweet. Yep. So I was just saying that I was starting to start these calls off, always been trying to do some shout outs to things that people are doing really well, where I see them doing something that's impresses me or just is really encouraging. So um, I was, and group's pretty tight knit right now as it grows over time. That might not be not everyone's names will necessarily get mentioned. Those that's kind of that's okay. You're not better or worse if your name's not mentioned. First shout out goes to Amanda just for um, getting through a workout when she had some hard news about her dad. Not not fun to get those sorts of phone calls, and also just I'm impressed that she went through that and continued to get through the workout. Didn't see that as a thing, that hard news as a means to say I can't complete this, but rather the workout kind of helped with some of the emotions that she was feeling as well. So I thought that was really cool to hear her say that. Jordan saw that you brought your weights home for Memorial Day to your parents' place, and you got your sisters involved in the workout. I think that's awesome. That was a fun, really fun, encouraging video to see. Way to go. Um, and Rachel was saying yesterday morning that she was dreading the workout, and then uh, like dreaded the workout before, dreading the workout in the morning, perhaps interrupted by kids multiple times. That's our realities too. I pray every time I work out that we're not getting interrupted by kids. Uh, and it happens. It's okay. And then uh, you went through with it, and then it went even better than you thought. You got some multiple personal bests. So these are things that were already dropped in the group chat in the group, but still wanted to bring some attention to them. Sorry, John, I didn't have one for you. You're just quietly chugging through the workouts, getting them done and lifting some big weights there. So I'm very impressed by that. So um, since you're here, John, did you have any questions you had, or just want to kind of hear what things I have to say, and that's that.
One thing I was wondering is once you're getting higher weights, like particularly the front squat, how do
Yep.
you, I do kind of like a clean to get them up 50s on each side. It's getting harder to throw that weight up.
Hmm.
So just trying to be safe about that. But I'm kind of doing like a clean where I jerk them up and then drop down to get them up to the shoulders. But
Yeah.
I was wondering what your thoughts are on increasing that.
Yeah. Um, I mean, you're able to do it right now, right? Like that's is it clunky? Is it uh painful? Is it feel safe on the back?
Yeah, it feels safe right now. It's just
Okay.
it just takes a lot of energy, I guess, to get it up.
Yeah. So the here's the reality of what I would say, what I do with dumbbell workouts where front squats, for instance, or get a clean get way up there for a clean. Or there won't be a lot of cleans in the workouts, I don't think. There might be some coming up. But I would actually say I don't usually say you have to go beyond 50s. It might be like, oh, I know you guys have weights beyond that. Those dumbbells might go um, be more used on like a bench press or a weight as you get, because you guys have a lot of, I know you guys have a lot of options available. Not everyone does. Um, but if you do, like squats in the front rack up here are like I rarely grab anything higher than 50s myself when I do this. I would just say the reps might increase a little bit, or the volume of the workout could increase a little bit. Not um, versus like, okay, keep trying to clean a heavier and heavier weight. So if you feel safe, I'd say don't lift in that to that position more than what you, bottom line, don't lift more than you feel safe doing initially, anyways, and getting up there with good technique that moves the waist from the ground or the hips to the shoulders efficiently, safely, well. Um, and I mean, you can squat those things for multiple reps. I mean, if worst case scenario, I said, hey, you're only doing 12 reps here, but you know you can do at least 12, you could up that to 15. I wouldn't say you need, like, I'm not going to give you, uh, there'll be conditioning and heavy days where, like, there's an option to um, do the workouts with those 50s where, okay, the squats are easy, and then we'll throw some lunges in there with the 50s, which, are up to that. And those don't have to be at your shoulders. Those don't have to be by your side or Bulgarian split squats. There's ways to still get the legs stronger with that kind of being the high end of what you can do. Um, that yeah, would not enable you to become clean a heavier and heavier weight to the shoulders. The other thing that could happen is, hey, you're getting really proficient in this movement at 50s. Theoretically, eventually, you could do so many of those so frequently that when you try 55s, if you wanted to, those would be easier because you've done so many reps of the 50s. So there there is a chance to do that. I wouldn't say it's necessary. Um, most of the if hey the workouts I'm going to try to keep building in a way where like you can the dumbbell version will be very sufficient. Or you'll end up learning what things you can do instead. If let's just say it says 3 sets of 12 dumbbell front squats, and you're like I can do those at 50s, and I've been doing that for 3 months now. Well, maybe we could think about what things to do. I could say, oh, if you're working on that today, do a few sets of that and then do a few sets of lunges or split squats, something like that with those 50s as well, or a lighter weight as you work up to the 50s or beyond that. And you can kind of keep getting those legs stronger. It just switches to a single leg focus instead. Does that help?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I have so I work or I follow a program myself where there's a dumbbell option every single day. So that's part of where this is motivated from. And the dumbbell option almost never assumes you have more than a 50-pound set at most for men, 35 for women. That's kind of a standard. Those are standard. And don't worry if you hear that and you happen to be there, John. If anyone else is listening and ever like you hear that, you say, I'm nowhere near that. That's totally fine. That's those are pretty hefty dumbbells to throw around in reality. And there's some people they're not. It depends on your strength level and your condition level and what you're used to. But I will frequently choose that option and always be very surprised at how heavy over time a pair of 50s becomes. It's not, it's it's still like I don't want to do 55s or 60s or 60s. I have weights up to 75s in my garage. I'm not reaching for those beyond like a dumbbell like pressing or bench day if I can get there. That's my strength level, not necessarily yours. And that's totally fine. We're all at our own places there. So we can get a lot done with what some people call a medium weight pair of dumbbells, moderate or middle to or a heavyweight pair of dumbbells. So, John, if you have more questions, hop in and chime in here. I'm gonna talk a little bit about intensity and upcoming heavy days, but then I'll probably jumping off here. So, I want to talk about intensity and what that looks like. So, um, bigger picture, working out as a whole is a stress to your body. Just and it's a good stress. Like it just stresses your body. Your body endures that stress. It comes out of that stress, having to adapt to it both in the workout and afterwards. And then it becomes the stress we're doing weightlifting or strength training and conditioning is that it becomes stronger and fitter. So stronger, able to lift more weight or maintain a certain load for a longer amount of time. Conditioning, able to do more work, sustain more effort for a longer period of time, or the same effort for longer chunks of time. Um, so we're doing that via lifting weights, whether that's a couple of different routes I can have in the program so far. Um, Now there's three strength training sessions per week. In those three, um, no, there's only three. There's not like five or four. There's walks and other things to recommend. I recommend you guys do as well. So we're not looking at a 5 day program where this topic might matter even more. But when I say intensity, I was like, and how to modulate or adjust it. I'm going to use intensity and stress, not necessarily interchangeably. They're two different. The stress of what's happening to your body, the intensity is the effort you're putting forth or expecting yourself to put forth in the workout. We've all had days where like you show up thinking you need to do the absolute best, match what you did last time in something, repeat it, do it better than before, or you know, lift a little more, etc. And it happens, and that's fantastic. That's awesome. And there's days where you show up and you think that's gonna happen, and it doesn't. And like, um, now there's days where you gave all of what you had to do it, and you still didn't beat what you did the last time, or something like that. Now, the intensity piece is like that kind of how hard are you going into that? And mentally, even like how are you approaching the workout? In a given week of three workouts, I only want you guys to think like two of those. Two of those workouts max are like the really drop the hammers, like push it hard. Whether that's the circuit conditioning kind of days, um, which by the way, do not use the same weights as you do with other workouts. So once you like Giles, since you said it, say you're doing 50s for front squats. I don't want to say unless you are really good at those and you do like 20 reps without stopping on front squats. If it says do 12 front squats in that workout and then immediately go to another movement after that, I would say you do not need to grab the 50s for that workout. You should probably be grabbing like 40s, just a little lighter so you can keep the yourself moving while your heart rate's elevated. Um, but you're trying to in these workouts, you want to try to have two days or so a week where your intensity is relatively high. Um, and that effort wise, I'll use a rate of perceived exertion scale. So how like 10 out of 10 being the highest, most exerting workout you could possibly do, your effort was high the entire time. Like I'd say, two of those three approaching that would be plenty from a stress to the body standpoint. The other one being like, oh, it's like a 6, 7. That's still going to be effective. So like, don't fall for the trap of I have to be pushing the absolute limit or threshold of something every single time, or it's not effective. Now there's truth like, okay, you barely. Again, John, you're here, so we keep using it as an example. if you already do the clean and the squat with the 50s, and also you say, I'm just going to start doing 20s. Well, then you are kind of dropping into that like intensity level, probably, or that exertion level, probably like pretty much a lot lower unless the workout was due, uh, something miserable, 100 squats for time. Like, okay, then maybe you don't need to grab the 50s for that. By the way, that's not a workout I'm gonna have you guys do yet. Um, so yeah, because there's always an option. But probably not. If I did, I would not say grab the max weight you can squat for that. I'd say grab something lighter. And intensity would still actually be pretty high because you're doing it for time. But um, yeah, if you drop that down and say, I'm just gonna do 20 today for this workout instead, yeah, that would be a pretty almost under the capacity of like threshold, but there could be a host of reasons that could make that why you need to do it, like an injury or a really low sleep like that, perhaps. But a couple days where you're at that 9 or 10, if you can, one maybe just one of them as well, 1 to 2 days where you're at that high intensity of 9 to 10 exertion level. The other days where you're like, oh, I'm like a 6, 7, 8. That's fine. Like one to two on that too. So 1 to 2 because you might feel really good 2 of those days, and you could do that. You don't need to, as far as like results are concerned, effectiveness is concerned, get you don't need to approach that absolute threshold every single time, or like it was not a good workout. It's good to just show up, move the weights that are right in that range you can do, sweat, your body gets the stress, gets some adaptation afterwards of building the muscle from that stress or building the condition level from that stress, and you move ahead stronger, better conditioned, etc. So those are it's still very good to do that. So just keep in mind your intensity level does not need to be riding the line, absolute max. There's that workout, collapse to the floor. That was what you needed to be a good workout. I say that because people have a range of mindsets. That's speaking more to the person who thinks they have to just ride that line, really push it hard. Likewise, I know people sometimes need to be encouraged with more than they think they can because they can do more than they think they can. You're going to start learning yourself if you haven't already learned yourself and know which one of those two you fall on. Is it I need to be encouraged to do a little more because I'm probably more comfortable sticking to a 5 or 6 out of 10 intensity level the whole workout. I need to push to that 8, 9, sometimes maybe 10. Or do you need to go the other way? Um, or like dial it back a little bit because you're always trying to do a 10. It depends. Um, we touched briefly on that was intensity. Touch briefly on workout styles that you guys are experiencing right now and kind of what the intent of those are. As well as a quick thing on rep ranges also. So for the next like month, you guys are going to see a couple things change in the workouts in the second half, and this will always be there moving forward. So I'll make a separate video that is not this call about that. So some of these movements right now, you see a rep range. Just want you to know the rep range is meant to be permission to you to choose a rep amount within that range as you work out. Whether you do that, like, let's just say it's 8 to 12 reps or something, whether you do 12, it's all effective given in that range. So you can choose 12, 8, 10, 8, 9, 11. Be my guest. The number doesn't matter. Your body's not keeping track of whether the reps were odd or even. The body just knows it was experiencing the work over that time. Um, so if you see it to 12, okay, you could do 12, 10, 8, 'cause that's what you could do with the given weight you chose. You could do 3 sets of 12, you do 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 11, 3 sets of 9. It doesn't really matter. I say just choose something you haven't. You have two options. Choose one, just choose something you didn't do last time. So if you're just kind of sticking the same even reps, etc., do do a set of 12. And then the next time you do it, do a set of 10. Next time you do a set of 8. So you like, yeah, that's if you're sticking with the evens, which most people will. That's totally fine. Um, you can be odd and unusual and choose the odd numbers, and it'll all work fine too. And then you have 5 different options to choose that are different than the last time because you can sometimes do something for 8, but you can't quite do it for 12 yet. So there's a little wiggle room in there to say I can progress this by going dropping from 12 last time to 8 this time. I can now lift 25 instead of 20s. That's great. You should try that. That's part of progressively overloading and making your body stronger. Um, Likewise, sometimes if you're trying to improve your ability to do all those sets at 8 or 10 or 12, well then if you kind of see the first set you got the 12, the next set you got, 11, next set you got 9, you didn't fail because you fit all three of those sets in that rep range. You just now have a goal to try to work towards getting that same pair of dumbbells or same weight up to a higher rep range. Those rep ranges, pick a different one if you can, or use it as a way to kind of progress yourself at a certain weight and load. Brief here, we're going to wrap up in about 9 minutes. Want to talk about uh, workout styles you're kind of experiencing, and what the intent of those is and the differences. If I didn't already talk about that in the first kind of welcome video. So first coffee and then back to that. So you guys are probably seeing, so there's the three options anyway of the load, flex, and the move, which I hope you guys are enjoying that. It seems like a lot of you choosing the flex option, which makes the most sense. Most of you guys have dumbbells at home. Let's just say you happen to have some more equipment. That's what the move, the load options for the move is. Hey, you're just you and planet Earth and you in the ground. Maybe a pull-up bar. Maybe if you have that, you can use that some way or a suspension trainer, rings. Okay, maybe like that's you know maybe probably not. What can you still do? I want to make sure there's an option for that. And I've seen one or two people do that already, and that's really cool. I think and they it added up over time, which is good. Um, so the the so that's the categories. Um, Workouts are kind of all roughly the same stimulus. You see them organized by, a squat, a deadlift, and a press workout, or I can't know if I label press or bench. They'll have those movements kind of at the forefront starting out. But you'll see a couple different options. One is workout days that don't have a little name after them of circuits or heavy or supersets, and that's going to be um, a day where like you're going to do a movement by itself. You're going to rest a bit, you do another set of that, do 3, 4 sets of it, move to the next one, kind of down the line until the end. There might be a I'll say conditioning piece in air quotes because it's meant to be. Now you have your first superset. You can drop the weights a little bit on those two movements and just try to keep moving efficiently in that. Um, the intent of that workout would be, hey, it's a day to spend a little more time training these particular like 2, 3, 4 movements at the beginning of the workout. And because there's rest built in of 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and you can go lower than that, you can go higher than that. It's a pretty safe range to be in. Um, those should be pretty good like training days to just get yourself stronger. Maybe that's not always the day you drop the biggest like intensity piece, or it is, and all those sets are really hard and intentional, and that's really good. But like those are the days designed to give yourself some time to work on that movement, work on trying to increase the weight on it, and move it along. The next one after that, I'll say is the days that are labeled superset. I like keeping those in there because it's a little more efficient. I probably sometimes try to change up which exact movement you're doing. So it's like rather than a 2 arm row, it's now a 1 arm row. Instead of the dumbbell front squat, it's going to be a um, Bulgarian or a kickstand squat. I guess I haven't seen those yet. But like there's other versions of the same kind of muscle group and area you're trying to work. But now you're doing them together. There's interference that's now happening of you have I'll use that squat, then you have a row right afterwards, then you rest. Well, your heart rate got up during the squats. You went right into doing the rows. Your heart rate's still up, and you're doing these rows without elevated heart rate. So, like, maybe the muscles can do the movement, but then the heart rate is now interfering a little more with it. So it gets a little bit more challenging to do the same weights that you were doing in these other days where you just had the squats by themselves for 3 sets, then rows by themselves for 3 sets. That's intentional. That's so you get a little higher heart rate during that workout. You work a little bit on like your capacity to keep doing a movement at a sustained higher heart rate. You might not lift the same weights for both those two workouts. That's okay. It's also just a different format. Different formats of a workout are good stress to the body as far as adapting. Um, then the next version, so that'd be the same way all the way down. You know, you probably only have two, three supersets in the workout. And that's you will probably notice that you're not able to carry the same weights in that workout as you are in these other kind of standalone lift and rest days. That's intentional. That's good. Um, that might be your intensity day for the week. It might not be, or it might be just one of those like, I'm gonna pick a little lighter load. I'm just gonna keep moving and get through. Um, the next one is these ones are labeled circuits. Um, you guys have all experienced at least one of these so far. You thought of, I don't know what everyone did them. I love seeing the comments there. I didn't see anyone say, "Wow, that was way harder than I thought it'd be." So I like that you guys went through that. Um, you don't hate me. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. That's fine. I can take it. Um, but that was a day where it's like, okay, the heart rate should really get up during these. These are almost like little sprints. So far the way they're programmed. And there'll be more options of this. These are written as circuits. There is going to be workouts in the next like 2, 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. They're like way different than that as far as conditioning goes and different formats. And we'll talk about those too. Um, I do my best to explain what they look like and why they're coming up. Um, but those are get the heart rate up and basically feel like you went for like a 30-minute run because you're lifting weights. That's kind of the way that workout's structured. You'll probably not be carrying the same loads in that workout as you normally would in a lift, squat, and rest, and that's all you do at the beginning of the workout day. It's just not going to be that way. I'm using squats as the example. That's intentional. I, I put in those comments. Make sure you pick a load with the weights that allows you to keep moving. Just kind of, okay, my heart rate's high. I can pick up this load and keep moving. That's what you want to try to be choosing. And over time, you do that again, you might be able to increase your capacity in a similar style workout to do a little more weight on one or two or three or four or five or six of those movements. I hope that does happen, and it should happen. Those are the three ones you're seeing right now. In the next month, there's gonna be heavy days. I'm gonna do a separate video. Um, so I'll record and talk about that in more depth that you guys can listen to versus watch. I don't think I have time right now to go into that. Um, but I want to talk about that, what that looks like, why are we doing them, what's the point of that, um, and how do you approach them well? How do treat your body well in that? Why are we doing them? Um, what's the goal of them, and how to do them safely also. So those will be appearing in the back half of this first like 8 week chunk of programming. I didn't want to put them in the first month because I don't know where everyone's at. And over time, people will jump in and will see their first day logging in as, oh, a heavy squat day. What do I do with that? And they'll have a video to watch and some instructions to go over and some ideas as to how to adjust that given their ability level at the moment. If they've never done one before, it doesn't mean you can't do it and you're afraid of it. So, um, you just adjust to your current level of fitness and strength and conditioning. So I'm gonna wrap things up there, so I'll make a separate video on that. If any other questions pop up, um, let me know. John, any final thoughts or questions? You're busy and it's all good. If you're busy, it's all you can mute if you need to. If not, you can. We're all good here. So I'll stop there. Um, I'm really encouraged by all you guys are doing. Um, it's fun to see the interactions in the group. Thanks for sharing what you guys are doing. How is it going? There's no pressure to do that. It makes the group more fun when people do, and as long as there's a few people who are doing it, that's always good. I'll keep poking things in there as I can. But yeah, really encouraged by what you guys are doing so far, how these are going. We'll see you guys interacting, and I'm looking forward to continuing growing. So thanks for the first call here, and we'll catch you guys back in the group chat. Keep it up.